The heroine leaves, lost in thought, only to be startled when she sees the hero walking behind her. He asks if the nurse's husband pressured her, and she feels happy that he's worried about her. As they walk together, she sees a couple standing nearby and suddenly remembers what happened the previous night. Feeling awkward, she quickly changes direction and leads the hero down another path. She apologizes for her behavior and tells him that she wasn't in her right mind. She then leaves and enters her house, feeling guilty. The hero stands outside her door, struggling with his emotions. He wants to tell her that he loves her and isn't upset with her, but he's afraid that if she gets too attached to him, she'll end up getting hurt. The next day at the station, everyone is shocked when the heroine walks in wearing bizarre clothes. She proudly announces that the criminal will now fear her and won't dare approach her again. She then takes them to a specific location, explaining that she sees the criminal kidnapping someone in her dreams. The detective is skeptical, thinking she's just imagining things, but the hero informs them that this is the exact place where the criminal kidnapped his father's lover 30 years ago. Suddenly, the heroine notices a pervert harassing a woman and immediately attacks him. She beats him up, making sure he regrets his actions. The hero laughs at her boldness and takes her to the house where his former lover once lived. There, he reminisces about the time when he was a child. His lover used to make paper frogs. To his surprise, the heroine starts making the same paper frogs, just like his past lover. He begins to suspect that she might be her reincarnation, but still needs more proof. Meanwhile, the detective meets a neighbor from the area and learns that 30 years ago, 4 young men lived in that house. She mentions that one of them was exceptionally handsome, almost angelic in appearance. When she shows the detective a picture, he is shocked to see that it's the hero, with his dog looking exactly the same as he does now. She then asks if the hero was ever married or had children, but she is certain that he was always single. The detective is stunned and realizes that the hero had been lying about his father. He has actually been alive for 30 years without aging. The detective storms into the house and grabs the heroine by the wrist, telling her that she must stay away from the hero. The hero recalls his mentor's warning that every time he falls in love with a human, she dies. Later, he sees the heroine sitting with the detective and decides to give in to his fate. He shoots a love arrow at them, but thankfully it doesn't hit them, meaning that their love story isn't over yet. That night, the hero sits alone, feeling miserable. He visits his companion, who suddenly reveals, "By the way, I saw what happened between you and the heroine when I was in my dog form." The hero is shocked and embarrassed. His friend smirks and adds, "Don't try to deny it. She was drunk on lemon juice, but you looked ridiculously happy." Flustered, the hero warns, "If you tell anyone that I'm in love with her, I'll make you pay." His friend just laughs and replies, "I already know you love her." But the strange thing is that nothing bad has happened yet. Maybe she isn't human. Maybe she's an angel, just like us. At the same time, the detective examines the photo of the hero from 30 years ago, still unable to understand why he hasn't aged. A member of his team walks in and sees the photo. He remarks, "I saw a picture just like this at the restaurant, but it's even older, at least 100 years old." The detective initially assumed it was the hero's grandfather, but now he is completely shaken. He recalls a video he saw of the hero holding a gun and threatening the dog's owner. Slowly, all the clues start falling into place. Back to the hero, he is still deep in thought, recalling his friend's words. Could the heroine really be an angel? She is beautiful and kind, and he can't stop thinking about her. Determined to uncover the truth, the detective visits the restaurant to see the old photo for himself, but to his surprise, it's gone. It turns out that the restaurant owner had removed it. The detective immediately calls the hero and warns him, "Be careful. I know the truth, and I'm getting closer to proving it." At night, the heroine receives a message from the missing nurse, asking for help. Shocked, she immediately calls the detective, and he says, when he confirms that it's indeed her number, she doesn't tell him that she just received a call from her. Instead, she hangs up, gets in her car, and drives to the address mentioned in the message. The officer assigned to monitor her is distracted and doesn't notice that she has left. The detective grows concerned and asks his colleague to check the nurse's phone. He soon discovers that the phone was recently turned on and that a message had been sent from it to the heroine. Realizing that her life was in danger, the detective asks the nurse. He rushes to save her. Meanwhile, the heroine arrives at the location and is surprised that the detective is not there. He too finds out what happened and tries calling her, but she doesn't answer. As she calls out for the nurse, she is suddenly confronted by the criminal. Terrified, she attempts to flee, but he attacks and strangles her until she collapses to the ground. As he moves closer to finish her off, the sound of approaching police sirens scares him away. When the hero arrives, he sees a body covered up and assumes it's the heroine. Overcome with grief, he is relieved to discover that the victim is actually the nurse. He then learns that the heroine is still alive, but in the hospital, undergoing surgery after hitting her head. While unconscious, she dreams about her past life from 500 years ago. To her shock, she realizes that she wasn't royalty as she once believed. She was merely a servant. Memories of the hero flood back, and she recalls how he always loved and protected her. The next day, she wakes up, and the doctor checks on her condition. However, she keeps talking about an angel who saved her, though she cannot see his face. The doctor assumes she is hallucinating due to the accident. Her friend tries to get her to eat, but she refuses, still shaken by what happened. Seeing this, the hero personally cooks her favorite food. She enjoys the taste, and his presence comforts her. He stays by her side until she falls asleep. This time, she wakes up in shock, and upon seeing him before her, exclaims that she remembers everything. She tells him that she finally found the man she has been searching for all her life. At that moment, the detective visits the hero's house and meets his friends. To his amazement, they look exactly the same as they did 30 years ago, confirming his suspicion. They are not human. A flashback reveals the events of 500 years ago. The prince wanted to forcibly marry the servant girl, but she loved the hero instead. On the day of the wedding, the prince's enemies tried to kill her, but the hero arrived just in time to save her, taking the fatal strike in her place. Devastated, the servant girl decided to throw herself off a cliff, hoping to be reborn and reunite with the hero in a new life. He waited for her for centuries, and 30 years ago, she was finally reborn. When she was in danger, he once again saved her, but he was always afraid of losing her again. On the day she confessed her love, he planned to meet her at the mountain, but the criminal kidnapped and killed her instead. Ever since that moment, he had been waiting for her to be reborn, unaware that she already had. Back in the present, the heroine regains consciousness and believes that she has finally fulfilled her destined dreams. However, the doctor insists that she is not a hero. She is just imagining things due to the surgery.